Welcome to the 10th and final video tutorial for the Skyrim Creation Kit, World Hookup. Level designer Darrell Brigner is here to help us connect our level to the world around us. Play us out, Darrell.
Okay, so let's find a place in the exterior where we want our dungeon to exit or enter from. Go to your world space here and you're going to select Tamriel. The easiest way to do that is click once in the world space and hit T. It'll select Tamriel. Right now it's loading it. You got to give it a second, there's a lot of cells there. And in Tamriel, we are going to go to cell X3, Y -11, and then hit go. It'll load that specific cell. And you want to make sure that loaded on top is checked so that the currently loaded cells are listed at the top of the cell list, so you don't have to hop around for them because they're normally in order of alphabetical order. So let's zoom out here so you can see what we got. If you want to mess with lighting in here, you can, just for the purposes of being able to see anything, you can hit A to cycle lighting, or click this button here, and then hit 6 or click this button here to cycle sky on or off. I'm going to have sky on and lighting both on, even though the buttons are opposite. You can ignore that. So the other thing to know is you can toggle cell borders with B, so hit B. You'll see the cell border right there. Flicker on and off. If I zoom way out, you can get an idea of cell size. There you go. So you can see it right here, right along here, and then it goes right up here. So we're actually going to put our dungeon entrance right here. First thing we want to do, if we know this is the cell that we want, make sure you have make sure you're in cell wilderness 3 -11. Notice if I move the camera down here, it pops into 3 -12. If I bring it back up, it goes back into 311 -11. So make sure you're in the right cell. And then select this and change the name. You can either select it and then click it again to change the name, or you can select it and hit F2. And we'll make it Lokir's Tomb Exterior 01. That should work. And then the exterior we're going to make here is going to be super simple. You can elaborate on it, make it more interesting if you want. I'm just going to put in the basics of making it look okay. First thing we want to do is drop in a couple pieces. It's only going to consist of 2 pieces and a door. So first thing you want to do is drop in a Nordic Dwelling O2 Exterior Base C. And filter by all, so everything, you can see everything. It's a Nordic Dwelling version 2 for the exterior, or as an exit. I think that might be exit. Base C. Basically, it looks like this. You can rotate it around, get it however you want it to look, sort of. But don't worry, we'll be moving it all later just to get it exactly right. So that's one piece we're working with. Now hit Control D and drag this piece out here. Hit Control F, and then we're going to, I think you only need to go tap up twice, and then hit Enter, and you're going to use this piece right here. And also, if you want it, well, to get it to snap to this, you've done this before, hit Shift Q, and just click on this piece here, and now we are snapping to this piece here. So make sure snap is turned on, and then we can just move it into place, and its snap is turned on, so it'll perfectly line up there. And if you get flickering here like this, just go to View and turn Depth Biasing on, and you'll see the actual texture the way it's supposed to look. So now we're also going to add a door. So the door we are going to use for this exterior Nordic load door is Nor Door Small Load O2. And just drag it in here. There we go. Now that our snap is turned on, we'll also turn on our rotational snap, Control Q, and rotate this door into place, and then snap it into place. There we go. And now with all of this stuff selected, go ahead and select everything. You can hit 1 to see if you have everything selected. We're going to turn off snap and rotational snap. This way we can freely move around all these pieces till we get it right where we want it. So I'm going to do something like, just kind of embed it where the stairs look okay and everything seems okay. I'm going to do it like this. There we go. That should work. And also notice sometimes you'll still have a gap here. That's easy to fix. You can just click on this piece here. You see we have it selected. I'm Control Z to undo that. You're going to want to turn on grid snapping, and you're going to want to snap to reference, because remember we moved all the stuff. Snap to reference to this piece, and then duplicate this piece with Control D, and then drag it off here so it lines up. There we go. Now we have that hole patched there. And there we have our load door, but right now if you activated it, it wouldn't do anything. Let's have it actually connect to our interior cell. To do that, double click the door and check the teleport box here, and I'll just drag this off to the side a little bit. Now with this, with the reference properties of this door opened here, we're going to go back to the interior Lokir's tomb. To do that, just go to world space here and hit space. It'll load the interiors. And then find Lokir's tomb and then hit enter. There we go. Now, I'm going to hide the CLC marker for now. You're going to want to go back to the reference properties for the exterior door, which we have right here. Click select reference and render window to set the linked door. Double click the door and see we have a teleport marker appeared. Hit OK on here. And then just go ahead and drag this marker, undo all your snaps, or you can snap to the current grid here, which I usually like to do, which I'll just snap to this piece. I'll turn on snap and rotational snap. Pop this guy out right there and face him out. That's where the player will end up. I'll drag it out one more. And that's where the player will end up when he comes inside the cell. If you want to quickly get back out to the exterior, just double click this door teleport marker and say yes that you want to go to the reference door this is linked to. It'll load straight out to the exterior door. And then here, go ahead and shift Q again to snap to reference on any of these pieces here. And then, since we have both snaps on up here, just click the door marker and pop it out there. Rotate it out. There we go, and that's where the player will end up. One more here. When they exit the dungeon. Right now, if you were to load up the game and go through this door, you can go back and forth through to your dungeon. The last thing we're going to do here is drop in a map marker. So go ahead and up here, the filter type map marker, and drop it in. Now you can roughly align it here. You can turn off the snaps. We don't need those on. The radius here, when the player steps in the radius, will discover the dungeon. So right now we'll keep it at the default. That's fine. You can change that in extra. You can change the radius, but I'm going to keep it where it's at. So go into marker data, check marker data checkbox, and type in Lokir's tomb in the name and select Nordic Ruin in the type. And now it'll show up as a Nordic Ruin on your compass or map or whatever with the Lokir's tomb name. And right now, if the player were to fast travel to here, he would end up at the origin of the map marker, which sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. In this case, I wouldn't want it. I actually want to say exactly where the player ends up. So if you want to make or filter to a X marker heading, drop it in here. And then I'm just going to line it so it sort of faces the entrance. Something like that should work fine. And then double click the map marker, select linked ref, and link directly to the X marker heading. Okay, okay. There we go. Now when the player fast travels to your dungeon, he'll end up right here.
Well, that's that. Congratulations on completing your first level. Remember to visit creationkit.com for all of your future modding needs. And don't be afraid to visit the Bethesda forums to share your progress and chat with fellow modders. We can't wait to see what you make. Good luck!